Russell Wilson is, trying to bring him, to bring something out of his career because, the Giants did move up to get him. He had a great college career. They connected. He has the speed is tantalizing to make him a deep threat, but so far he hasn't been on the field enough, in my opinion. And I still think, I don't think that he's in danger of getting cut, but the Giants, like you said, are going to have some interesting decisions to make at tight end, at wide receiver. There's a few guys that bring some special teams intangibles at receiver. You got little Jordan Humphrey there, having a pretty decent camp. And, Willie Hyatt, I think, really needs to establish himself a little bit more. And unfortunately, there's one preseason game left. And I don't know how much, how much he's going to play. I think he has to play because, he missed the first game. But anyway, as far as Joe Schoen, Schoen has done, they came in, they inherited Daniel Jones. They rolled the dice. They got a wild card win out of him. And then things kind of went to pieces, the next 2 years. And ultimately, I think any GM and any head coach coming into a job, and I think when you remember when all the guys that interviewed to be the general manager of the Giants, there's not a GM or a head coach worth his weight that doesn't want their own guy. And, now they have their own guy. And I think the reset button was set. I had a conversation yesterday with somebody, and I think Shane's performance, if you will, in last year's draft and now this year's draft, you have Carter, Alexander, in addition to Dart. There's some pieces, Marcus Bowe there, probably might play a bigger role, in giving that offensive line some depth. But, again, you have to like what Shane has done these last two drafts without question.
Yeah, and it's been great. And also, I think you talk about wide receiver. I like, and getting back, I think I like the nicknames too. I think that football's got a lot of nicknames. So I like Juice Wells, you got Turbo Miller, and then you got Motor Singletary. So you got a lot of nicknames going out there. So, Wells and Miller, they're going to be tough to